I'm so glad to inform you about our initiative in the digital skill development sector, NOBIM. Digitalization and adoption of digital process is the need of time. And NOBIM has been conceived with an objective to help industry in adopting this change, not only efficiently but also in a very cost-effective manner. Digitra and CAD Learning by 4D Technologies has teamed up to launch this amazing hybrid program, which is one of its kind and has been designed for your easy access to world's best BIM learning content. It has been tailored with a single-minded objective, and that is effective outcome. Our vision is to make BIM-related skill upgradation process a community-level initiative and provide you with the world's best solutions and the most affordable prices. With all your unlimited access to Nobem portal, you get to leverage the premium content on more than 50 plus design and engineering software. You also get to attend more than 25 workshops with BIM experts to bring out more relevance in your learning processes. So, in short, NOBIM is a long term skill upgradation program based on a gradual dispersion of several digital knowledge areas and using them on a practical basis. Feel free to Google up nobem.com and check out for more details. I will be more than happy to assist you on that front. Before we proceed any further, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce to our speakers today. We are very fortunate to have Kelly Dwyer as our first panelist. Kelly is a customer success manager at CAD Learning by 4D Technologies. She's very dedicated in helping customers embrace and utilize software in the most efficient ways. Also, she enjoys learning new technologies and sharing that with the other users. She's also always on the lookout for a way to make up processes very streamlined, effective, and foolproof. Now, moving on to our second panelist, we have architecture Priyanka Shinde, who's a project manager at Digitra Consultancy Private Limited. With sustainability, BIM workflows, and lean project management as the drivers, Priyanka has been collaborating with the reputed players in the AECO industry for consulting and outsourcing assignments. Speed in the deliverance is an asset for any project, company, and client. And Priyanka brings this understanding in the project with her clarity, thus being the go to person within the project. Now, I would like to hand over this session to Priyanka for further discussions. Priyanka?
Yes, yes. Hi, Riksha. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Give me a minute to share my screen.
Yes, Priyanka.
Okay, so thank you, Diksha. And yes, so good evening, everyone. And I hope everyone is safe and following all the rules. So I'm excited to be among all of you. And see, we have structured this webinar into two sessions. I'm going to be talking more on the domain part of it in the beginning, and then I'll have my colleague Kelly give you more insights on our platform and how it can help you learn Autodesk BIM solutions. So let's get started. So if you look at our topic today, the most important word here is acceleration. And, it's important to understand why we would like to talk about acceleration of the entire learning process. So the reason is digital disruption. Digital disruption, which we are seeing in various aspects of our life, is one of the most important factors that will decide the way construction industry will deliver and operate in the future. So we'll look at these waves of disruption here. Slowly, over the period, all the industries are experiencing digital disruption. And if any industry adapts to this disruption, it impacts the whole supply chain. So, coming specific to the construction industry, it is evident from this McKinsey report that construction industry has a lot to pick up when it comes to digitalization and adoption of digital tools and processes. In fact, several construction firms in India used video conferencing that we are using right now and online meetings for the first time during this COVID times. So sometimes it is not about the technology or its availability, but about the adoption level. Besides, current competitive market is pressing and squeezing the sales price, and reduction in project cost is now being considered by several firms to improve their profit. And full scale digitalization has the potential to enhance your productivity significantly. Now, let's shortly get into what is BIM and why it is important to us. So, BIM, as we all know, is building information modeling, and it is all about collaboration, collaborating data, people, and processes, and leveraging several digital tools and technologies. And BIM is rapidly growing within the construction industry, where its current utilization shows great effects on projects in terms of performance, time, and cost. And with Revit and BIM 360 together, it provides a fantastic platform to deliver a collaborated project. So, moving on, there are various factors that determines the maturity of BIM in any deployment process, BIM deployment process. Uh, Sorry about the slide changes. My computer is behaving a little bit funny, but yeah, I guess I have the correct slide. And yeah, so starting from simple CAD to all the way getting into the cloud-based collaborated model involves working on various dimensions. We are today working on projects in Delhi and collaborating live with architects from Chennai and engineers from Mumbai. This is the power of BIM. So when we actually when we're talking about BIM, there are different, I won't say kinds of BIM, but um, uh, kind of types where we have closed BIM and open BIM. So what are these two main things, main factors? When we work on a single discipline and just convert our design into a model from one discipline, the level of benefit realized in the project is quite low. Like I'm working on AutoCAD and I'm producing my drawings on AutoCAD. So it's the single discipline environment. When the benefit amplifies as we move towards big BIM. So Autodesk AEC collection is an example of closed big BIM with an ability to integrate with any other platform using open BIM formats. So sometimes, people actually expect a magical immediate return of investment with BIM, but we have to understand it takes time. Your efficiency drops in the beginning, but once you mature and you start learning and you start picking up the tricks and trades, you start seeing the benefits and then you keep continuously improving. So this here I have in my next slide is a very simple illustration of a typical architectural design process where you can see these red headshots in the traditional workflow. They are manual conversion processes. moving into a Revit centric way of working helps eliminate these manual processes. This is where we directly generate the drawings and quantities and automate the process. So while we are all talking about adoption of BIM and transferring from AutoCAD to Revit and BIM 360, what are the common barriers or roadblocks that we face when we talk about upskilling our staff from CAD to Revit or to BIM in general? So I have like few that I have faced. So mindset would be the first thing I would like to say. This is like our common Indian attitude, you can say. Like everyone has different mindsets. So first thing I would like to bring under your notice would be like the wait and watch attitude. People are not themselves willing to jump in. They want to wait and let others take over and then maybe decide later. It is a bit of a laid back approach, a safe approach, I would say. Then, secondly, another mindset would be reluctance to change. So, here, most of the times, we also meet people saying, we are working on AutoCAD since last 10 to 15 years, so it does not bother us, etc., things. So they at times, turn a blind eye to their own profits that could be generated with the change. Then third mindset I came across would be saying BIM is for large firms or big projects. Well, any firm that generates plans and elevations would benefit from a true BIM workflow. And I would like people to understand this. So there are many examples of small firms that are very profitable using true BIM workflow. Just by deploying Revit, they have gained a lot of profit. So then people also think that you can't design in BIM. So a true BIM workflow, design workflow is where very early phases of your project, you start using the same BIM tool and that you actually use ultimately for the documentation tool as well. Well, this would be the most efficient way of working. And using a BIM tool that is designed for architects or architectural design processes, that will definitely enable the firms to significantly, cut like lost of time due to repeated or redundant tasks and huge documentation works. So this would be like the most common mindsets that we come across. Then secondly, the another roadblock I would say would be the cost factor of it or return on investment factor of it. So people or the firms generally tend to say, BIM takes longer and it costs us more. Well, I would say it is like when you're using the right tool, a true BIM design workflow will save firms time, money, and risk. So when implemented properly, BIM workflow produces more accurate and refined sets of deliverables where you can say drawings and schedules, etc., which are way faster than traditional AutoCAD. So when done properly, most firms can achieve 100% of return of investment within first 12 months. So firms that are adopting BIM or adopting Revit with the right, using the right tools in the right way and with the right training and support, achieve a full return of investment within the first 6 to 12 months of BIM implementation. And the third, but not the like, this is also an important factor. So there is a fear of failure when it comes to BIM. And I would like to say here is without strong leadership, that that the leadership should understand that the true dimension of BIM, and he should understand what BIM is, how BIM works, and the management and the leadership of the firm should take steps to bring the employees into the project. So success is not that difficult, but to achieve this, constant efforts should be made to upskill your team. So this is actually what brings me to my last slide. So, and here we can conclude that BIM is a complex change. Yes, it is. And investing and creating a learning culture, and not just training culture, is what is important. So learning is a process of absorbing information in order to increase your skills and your daily abilities, even on the smallest of the tasks, and on the tedious of the task, and make use of it under variety of contexts. So one has to keep learning in order to upgrade and upskill. So I would like to conclude with this, and I hope my presentation gave you all motivation to upgrade and upskill yourselves. Just take the leap, and take the leap towards the digital transformation and Revit and BIM 360 tools. And so now with this, I would like Kelly to take over. Thank you guys, and over to you, Kelly.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. Thank you for your presentation. It was wonderful.
Thank
I'm going
you.
to go ahead and share my desktop so that everybody can see this.
Okay.
All right, perfect. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a live presentation of the NoBIM platform. So we're not going to be looking at slides. We're going to go ahead and look at this live. Let me go ahead and activate my camera so you can see me while I speak. There we go. So this is the NoBIM platform, which is designed to help accelerate your learning process to make it easy to achieve your objectives. And there's quite a bit of information available here. As they mentioned earlier, in the library, there's a number of titles available. I'm going to go ahead and click more. And you can see there are a number of different titles that we have learning content for. Because there is so much, it's a common practice to go ahead and bookmark those pieces you're going to use most often so that you have them available on just one click. And if I select one of these titles from the library, I get presented with all of the learning content that we have for that product organized by topic for me, and I can expand each topic to see the individual lessons. In the header area, we do tell you how many lessons there are and how many you've already viewed. So you can see at any time how many lessons you've already consumed. You can also see a little green check mark here, letting you know that you've already watched this particular video. You can certainly watch it as many times as you need to understand the concept. It's just a heads up to let you know you have seen it already. There is a box right here to filter the lessons that are displayed below so that you can search for help on a particular thing. And it will go ahead and filter that list of lessons to just the items that match for you what you were looking for. And I can go ahead and clear that out. Anytime there's any sort of update to the software, the content is updated almost immediately, as soon as possible thereafter. So there's a small checkbox here where you can ask to see just what's new, what has been updated recently. Now, the library itself is presenting all possible content. So there's quite a bit of information here, especially if I come to the library for Revit. If I take a look at this with you and show you, there's 1,000 lessons available for covering Revit. In here, I want you to know, however, that each of those lessons are relatively short. They range between 3 and 5 minutes, and they focus on just one piece of information at a time. They do not depend on each other, so you do not have to watch every single lesson. You can focus on just those that you need. And we do provide a playlist functionality so that you can capture those lessons you're interested in into a playlist to follow up with when you're ready. The playlist works very much like a playlist would for Spotify or iTunes or any other service where you're looking at videos or looking at music and you're just bookmarking your favorites. So it's pretty quick and easy to go ahead and create those playlists. We also give you the ability to share them with other people if you think it's helpful, and to assess yourself from a playlist so that you can assess your knowledge to see how much you truly understand and focus on only the pieces you don't. Now I'm going to return to the home page for a moment. The library was giving us the full breadth of content, absolutely everything there is. From the home page, we offer a goal tool where you can choose to work towards a particular goal. I'm going to go ahead and choose Revit architecture as an example. This is aligned to the certification exam that is offered by Autodesk so that it will be grouped in the most relevant chunking so that you can work through each piece slowly. Because the idea here is to not overwhelm yourself by looking at the entire library. That would fall back to training. What you really want to do is focus on just the skills that you need to add and assess yourself and build up that skill level until you've mastered it. So on this page, when I'm looking at a goal, up at the top, I have the ability to answer pop quiz question at any time. Every time you log in, you can stop and answer just 1 or 2 questions. Of course, I'm not going to read the question. Don't laugh at my answer. And we give you instant feedback. So this was incorrect, but don't worry. You can watch these lessons to understand better. And you can do as many questions as you want. In the what's next section, we're going to show you what you should probably focus on next based on how close you are to achieving it. So we're tracking your progress for you of the entire goal. How many items have you already completed or mastered? How many have you started but not quite mastered, and what has not been started? And we show you up at the top what you are closest to achieving so you can see that progress grow. Now I'm going to go ahead and just shrink that and scroll down a little bit. This is the full goal. So if we want to see the entire goal laid out on one screen, this is what it looks like. And in order to obtain the goal, we need to obtain a number of medallions, and each medallion is made up of badges. Each one of these badges is composed of lessons. So it all drills down to the same content available in the library, but we've pre-selected and organized it for you so that you can focus on one particular learning concept at a time. When you've completed a badge, it's going to fill in here with this orange color so that you know that's already done. I have completed both of the lessons that were required here. If you have partial progress in a badge, you're going to see that indicated with, let me scroll just a little bit here to find one. Perhaps I don't have one. We may have to create one. There's going to be a small green check mark next to anything you have already mastered, and those that you have not yet will still have the play icon. So we'll take a look at one of the smaller ones just so we can see how this works. So for this badge in particular, it's telling me that there's about 12 minutes left of content if I were to watch all 3 lessons, and there are 3 that I still need to show I understand. If I would like to launch the lesson, I can click this right here, just the title of the lesson, and the software will automatically start playing the video for you. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the volume as it won't share, and I'm going to pause the video. Now the video itself is going to walk you through the concept. It's going to have a time bar at the bottom that you can use to navigate, just like any other video player really. You can jump forward or jump back. You can adjust your volume. You can scan the timeline and jump to a particular part. If somebody has said you need to start at 3 minutes and 40 seconds, you can find that here and start right there. You can change your playback speed if you need to adjust this to slow down so you can follow alongside in the software, or you could speed it up if this is something you've seen before and you're looking for help on a particular item. We offer closed captions for when you're in an area where you won't be able to listen to the audio. I'm going to shut them off for just a moment. We offer picture-in-picture view and a full screen view for the video. So if you have a computer that has a smaller monitor, you can pop this out to a full screen view. Now, just beneath the video is the actual transcript. This is everything the instructor is stating as he's speaking through the lesson. And you can follow along with what they're saying here. It will highlight exactly what's being said, very similar to captions. It's going to highlight as it goes along, but you can also use this for navigation. So if you are looking for help on one particular item and you find that here, you can click that in the transcript and it will move you to that part of the video. So in addition to showing you exactly what's being said, you can use this for navigation. And you can search this text or anything on the web page by using Control F on your keyboard. Every browser has a search function that would allow you to search from here, and it will highlight any of the matches. And then, of course, you can click that to go right to that part of the video again. So the content itself is broken down into nice, small, easy to achieve objectives. The amount of content is extensive because of that, because the lessons are smaller. And to move through your understanding, the best tool available to you are the assessments, to be sure you understood exactly what you watched. So from here, if I choose to assess my progress, it's going to ask me questions about only these 3 lessons. So we're going to walk through a real quick assessment so you can see how this works. Now, you can take an assessment at the badge level and have only a handful of questions, or you can assess yourself at the goal level. If you are already an expert in this product and just want to see exactly what you know, you can start at the very top level. There will be quite a few questions, so it will take a little bit longer. When I start the assessment, the first question is presented with a series of answers. You would very carefully read these and make your selection, which I am not going to do, so don't laugh at my answers. I have not read the question, and then go next. You cannot skip a question. It will not allow you to leave one blank. You do have to make a choice. You can, however, back up if you need to. So if you've decided you want to change your answer on that previous question, you can do that. We don't score the assessment until you complete it. And when you complete it, we will give you instant feedback. Based on your results, we're going to tell you what lessons you should go and watch so you can focus on just what you need. I happen to get 0 correct out of 2, which makes perfect sense as I didn't read them. But I just want to point out that what we give you here is the answer you provided and the suggested viewing. We don't give you the correct answer. In order to make sure you are learning, we're going to have you watch these lessons and try that assessment again. Now, you can capture this list of suggested lessons into a playlist so that you have it available to work through as you have time. I'll go ahead and call this one badge. And then if you come back a little bit later in the day or the next day and you want to jump in and work on that, from the sidebar is all of your playlists. And here's the playlist I just created. So each of the lessons that were suggested for me. You can assess yourself on a playlist at any time. It will build an assessment with just these lessons to help you focus on just what you need to learn. You can share a playlist to somebody else by email. So if you have somebody who needs assistance with a task and you know 2 or 3 lessons that would help, you can easily create a playlist and share that. And of course, when you have finished with a playlist, you can go ahead and delete it. The playlist can be modified. You can rearrange these lessons with a click and drag, or you can remove any of the lessons you think don't need to be here. So I can shrink this right down to what I know I need to work on. So your progress will be updated as you go, working towards that goal. Now I'm going to return to the full library again for a moment because I want to take a look. On the library page, in addition to all of the content that we have available, we have a couple of assessments here. These are overview assessments for the entire library. They don't work exactly the same way as those badge assessments. They're a little bit bigger. They have more questions. However, any question you answer correctly here will count towards your badge. You'll never have to answer the same question twice. If you have already proved that you understand it, then we will go ahead and mark it as understood. So from the library, you can take an overall knowledge assessment to see what your overall understanding is of the program. And then you can make a playlist of just those items you didn't understand, and you can follow through with those. If you are trying to focus on just one topic and you are not going through the goal, you're coming in here for some quick upskilling, or you're just needing help on a particular task. Again, you can filter this list from here, and then you can capture these filtered results and add them to a playlist. So I had 2 results here from the Getting Started topic. If I click this star, it allows me to add this to my playlist. And yes, I know that had nothing to do with sloped floors, but I wanted to be able to show you easily those 2 lessons have been added. So all I have to do is find the content I need, look for the star, and add it to the playlist. Again, if you've added too many things, you can come back in and remove what you did not need. And when you're done with it, you can delete the entire playlist. Now, when I use the filter here, this is going ahead and searching just this particular library. There's also a global search up here where I can search all of the content in all of the libraries. So you can ask for help on absolutely anything from up here. And we will bring you to a full search result page. This brings you the search results automatically filtered based on the products that you have indicated you use. Those are the products that you have bookmarked in the library, and we'll return and look at that in just a moment. And you can filter it down here by product further. So these are the products I said I use. Perhaps I only wanted help for this one. I can filter it further. See how the results shrunk? So we can whittle down to exactly what you're looking for. If you want to open the search up to products you don't normally use just to see what's out there, you simply uncheck this box, and then you can choose from here which product you were looking for, and it will filter the results. So the search tool is incredibly powerful to help you find exactly what it is you need help on, and you can launch any of these lessons right from here. Same exact experience as launching from the library. Now, when I use the library here, let's return. There is an area up at the top where you can add or remove from your library. The full library is always available by clicking more, but you can build your own personal library of just the content you're interested in by selecting items and then choosing Add to My Library. Let me select one that I haven't used yet. Go back a little further. Here we go. So Revit 2017, not something that's part of my library because it's not something I use. If I'd like to add it, I just click Add to My Library and it becomes available. If at some point you stop using one of these products, you can, of course, remove it from your library. And remember that what this is doing is just building that nice short list for you at the beginning. Everything is still available once you click more. You're not restricting your access. You're just making it easier to navigate. And you're also pre-filtering your search results. So the content that's available here is extremely detailed. You can dig in very deep. We have beginner to advanced content. You're going to find help for just about anything you can do in any of these products. With an enterprise license comes the power to customize this content so that you could take this content and build it into exactly the workflow that your company is using and present that in the library for your users. So you can build a customized version of our course. You can also build customized assessments so that you're targeting the questions just to the pieces you want somebody to understand. We offer an assessment type of pre-hire where you can build an assessment, and instead of putting it in the library here, it's available by invitation only to people who are not part of your company so that they can take an assessment and you can measure their skills, but they don't see those results or have access to anything in here unless you hire them on. And then you have a learning path to get started with. If you have an enterprise license, you will also have access to reporting. From the organization menu, you will have the tools available to you to help manage your users, your subscriptions, your content, etc. And right here in the middle is reports. So all of the activity for your company would be captured here, and you can review the history. Who has watched which lessons, who has worked on which goals, who has taken which assessments, etc. All of the analytics are here available to you. So the key features with the enterprise license is the ability to customize the content in the library and the ability to run analytic reports. And I'm going to return now to the home page. I just want to give a quick summary before we open up for question and answers that the NoBIM platform, again, contained quite a bit of content, 40 plus titles in that library, thousands of lessons in each of the titles. It offers the ability to upskill quickly by using shortened assessments to target a particular badge or concept. It offers playlists to focus on just the pieces you want after searching or filtering the library. It offers the ability to share those playlists and to measure your growth, to see right here on screen as you're improving your skills and closing those gaps. So that is my presentation of the NoBIM platform. I'd like to make sure if anybody had any questions that I go ahead and address those. Were there any questions that came in through the chat box?
Yes, Kelly. I would like to ask that Damini has this question that how often do you upgrade your lessons and how do you catch up with a new version?
Excellent question. We're going to update these lessons every time there is a new release. And let me return just quickly to Revit to show you. It may be easiest to see. Obviously, each year Autodesk is putting out a major release, and we are working on those right now. The 2022 titles will be available shortly. We typically have them available 90 days after the release of the product to the public for the major updates. We also update the content continually throughout the year, every time they make a change. So every one of those dot releases, we will update just the lessons that have changed, and all the other lessons stay right where they are. So it is a continuous update. We're going to be doing it throughout the year. And you can, as I mentioned before, take a quick look at exactly what's new right here by filtering that.
Okay, thank you. And
Sure.
we have another question from Sandeep Korde. He wants to know that will you please guide us through the workflow that from how to start and how to achieve the goal?
From the very beginning, how to achieve the goal?
Yes, he
Okay,
wants to know that how like please guide through the workflow.
Okay, absolutely. I'm going to start by removing my goal. So we start from the very beginning. So the workflow is going to be to choose the goal that you would like to work towards. So from this list, there's quite a few choices available, and you would choose which one you would like to work on. I'll choose something different this time so you can see a different goal. Once you've selected your goal, we immediately put the information here on the screen to start working. And I would recommend a quick scan of the entire goal to get started. So I'm going to scroll down just a little bit here. As I had mentioned before, these are the items that I'm closest to achieving. I do already have some progress. So it's trying to offer me the shortest to achievement. But I can look at the full goal by just selecting the title here. And it opens up the screen where I can see each and every medallion and each and every badge contained within. And you can scan this and decide, is there a certain area I want to start with? What am I most comfortable with? What do I need to learn? So in this particular goal, there are only 3 medallions: model preparation, energy analysis settings, and energy simulations. If I would like to focus on just one of these to start, I can choose that title. And I can assess my progress here at the medallion level. It will include questions for all of these badges. So it will combine them all into one assessment. If you are somebody who is very skilled at this software, if you already have a good fundamental understanding, you can actually take that assessment at the goal level. So right up here at the very top level, I can assess my progress. It will warn you that there's quite a few questions and it might take a little time, but that's okay. So I would recommend the very first thing you do once you've selected a goal is start with the assessment before you even watch any lessons. Because that way you can identify which things you already know and put them aside and focus on only those that you do not know yet.
Okay.
As I was going to say, I'm hoping that answered the question properly.
Yes, that was a wonderful answer, Kelly. We have another question from Viren that do you have lessons from Bentley ecosystem?
We do not have lessons from Bentley in here right now. This is primarily Autodesk content that we have. You will see that the library will grow over time, but right now I believe that Bentley has their own unique learning system, and they do not license that content out. With an enterprise license, however, you do have the ability, as I said, to create a custom course, and you could simply link in that course to the Bentley Learn platform so that it's all in one place, but it's not quite the same as new content. It is the Bentley content. So you will find right now Autodesk only titles, but with an enterprise license, you have the ability to add whatever content you would like.
Okay. There is another question that how can we access the platform?
I think I want to let you answer that one, how they can gain access to the platform.
So thank you, Kelly.
I put
It's
you on the
a
spot there. I'm sorry.
yes, no, it's fine. Actually, it's a web-based platform, so you can access it from anywhere and from any device.
Oh, I was assuming they meant how would they gain a user account?
Uh,
So how would they purchase access?
um,
Absolutely. If the question was how to access it, then the answer is any device that has a connection to the internet for the web-based platform. And we do, in fact, offer mobile apps as well. So we have an app that you can use on an iPad or an Android tablet that will offer the same functionality.
okay. Okay, that was wonderful. And thank you so much, Kelly.
Certainly.
Yes, thank you so much, Kelly and Priyanka. I hope you all enjoyed this amazing presentation. And I regret to inform you that this is all the time we have today. And I'm sorry if we have not been able to answer all of your queries. And I request you to please share your question with us and we'll surely get back to you as soon as possible. And I would also like to thank Kelly and Priyanka for this informative webinar today. It was a pleasure to have you both with us. And to all the participants, thank you for taking out time of your valuable schedules for attending. And we hope that you have learned and enjoyed this webinar. And we'll be conducting many more such webinars in the future. And we all look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.